The village of Nsinga lay at the edge of the Great Plains, where the red earth met the sky, and the winds carried the whispers of ancestors. Here, among towering acacia trees and the endless stretch of golden savanna, lived Afolabi, a man whose heart burned only for one woman. That woman was Nia. She was the chief's daughter, the light of the village, and the beauty that made warriors forget their courage. Her skin glowed like the rich earth after the first rains, and her laughter was the melody of the river. But what set her apart was her spirit, wild, untamed, and rebellious. Afolabi, though not of noble blood, was the bravest hunter in Nsinga. His spear had felled the fiercest lions, and his name was spoken with respect. But respect was not enough to win the hand of the chief's daughter. Chief Omari, Nia's father, had already chosen her husband. A man of wealth and power, Okidi, the feared warlord from the northern lands. Okidi was twice Nia's age, cruel as the drought, and rich with the blood of those he had conquered. He had sent his messengers with gifts, cattle, gold, and silk from distant lands. And Chief Omari, knowing Okidi's wrath, had accepted. Nia's fate was sealed, but love does not bow to fear so easily. One night, under the pale glow of the moon, Afolabi met Nia by the river, their secret place. "We must leave, Nia," Afolabi whispered, gripping her hands tightly. "We must run far away before the wedding." Tears shone in Nia's eyes. "If we run, Okidi will send his men after us. He is not a man who forgives." Afolabi's jaw tightened. "Then let him come. I would rather die fighting for you than live knowing you belong to him." Nia touched his face. "Then we must be wise. We need help." There was only one person who could guide them, the village seer, Mama Iniko. That night, they crept to Mama Iniko's hut, deep in the forest, where the spirits of the ancestors whispered through the trees. The old woman sat by the fire, her white eyes staring into unseen worlds. "I have been expecting you," she said before they could speak. Nia and Afolabi exchanged glances. "You wish to escape," Mama Iniko murmured, "but the spirits have already woven your fate." A cold wind rustled the trees. "You are bound by love," the old woman continued, "but love alone will not protect you. Okidi is no ordinary man. He has made a pact of blood with dark forces." A shiver ran through Nia. Mama Iniko reached into her pouch and pulled out a small vial of red powder. "Take this. It is the dust of the ancestors. If death comes for you, cast it into the wind, and they will answer." Afolabi took the vial, his grip firm. "We will not die." But Mama Iniko only smiled sadly. "All love demands a sacrifice." The day of the wedding arrived. Nia was dressed in red and gold, her wrists heavy with bangles, her face painted in patterns of sorrow, but she was not in the palace when the ceremony began. She was gone. The village erupted in chaos. Warriors searched the land. Drums of war echoed in the hills. Chief Omari trembled with fear, knowing Okidi's wrath would be swift. And Okidi did not disappoint. He arrived before the sun had set, his warriors on horseback, their spears dripping with the blood of those who had tried to stand in their way. His eyes burned with fury. "Where is she?" His voice thundered. Chief Omari fell to his knees. "My lord, she has been stolen, taken by Afolabi." Okidi's lips curled into a deadly smile. "Then I will bring her back. And when I do, Nia will watch as I kill the man she loves." With a wave of his hand, his warriors mounted their horses and vanished into the night, their torches burning like fallen stars. The hunt had begun. Nia and Afolabi ran through the forests, their breath ragged, their bodies aching. They had been running for 2 days, but Okidi's men were close. "We must keep going," Afolabi urged, but before they could move, the first arrow struck the tree beside them. A voice rang through the night. "There they are." Afolabi grabbed Nia's hand, pulling her forward, but warriors on horseback surrounded them. Okidi himself stepped forward, his long sword gleaming in the moonlight. "You thought you could run from me?" he sneered. "Fool." Afolabi placed himself in front of Nia, his spear raised. "You will not take her." Aphalabi lunged. Their blades met in a clash of fury. The battle was brutal. Okidi was a warrior of legend, but Aphalabi fought with love burning in his veins. The ground shook with their struggle. Blood stained the earth, but in the end, Okidi was stronger. Aphalabi fell to his knees, his chest heaving, his blood soaking into the dirt. Nia screamed. No. Okidi smirked, raising his sword for the final blow, and that was when Nia remembered Mama Iniko's words. With trembling hands, she pulled out the vial of red powder and threw it into the air. The wind howled. The earth rumbled. And then, the ancestors answered. Dark shadows rose from the ground, whispering in voices older than time. They surrounded Okidi, their touch cold as death. His eyes widened in horror. No. This is not possible. But the spirits do not bargain. With a final scream, Okidi was dragged into the darkness, his body vanishing like smoke. Silence fell. The warriors, leaderless, fled in terror. Nia dropped to her knees beside Aphalabi, tears falling onto his wounded chest. Stay with me, she begged. Aphalabi coughed, his fingers weakly touching her face. I told you. I would rather die for you. No, she sobbed. You will live for me. And as the first light of dawn broke over the land, Aphalabi opened his eyes. The curse of love and blood had been lifted. Months later, under the same tree where they had first confessed their love, Nia and Aphalabi stood together, finally free. The village of Nsinga spoke of their tale for generations, of a love that defied death, of a warlord cursed by his own blood, and of two souls who had conquered fate itself. And as Nia rested her head against Aphalabi's chest, she whispered, "We won." Aphalabi smiled, holding her close. "No, my love. We survived." And in the heart of Africa, where the wind still carried whispers of the past, love endured, forever.